Hi guys, so I hope all of you are doing good. After my last video of 2000 kilometers solo drive from Bangalore to Calcutta, I got a lot of questions in terms of what are the passes required, uh, and what is the toll tax, and all sorts of questions. So I thought I'll make a quick video and answer all the questions so that it's easier. Whoever is planning to travel from Bangalore to Calcutta, it's easier for them and it's gonna be helpful. So the first question that I got was what are the passes required? So when I applied, or when I went to the Karnataka website to apply for the exit pass, I saw it's clearly mentioned that if you are exiting from um, Karnataka or Bangalore or anywhere, you do not need to apply for any exit pass. So I did not apply for any. Now when I was researching before my travel, I had seen that in Andhra Pradesh, in the border, a lot of checkpoints were there, and they were asking for a lot of documentation, and so I had expected the same. So I had all the information available with me, all my car documents, and where I'm traveling to. But again, I started at 2:30 in the morning from Bangalore, and when I reached the checkpoint of Andhra, it was about I think 4:30 or quarter to 5 in the morning, because that's about 1.5 hours or 2 hours from the Hoskote toll gate. So there were CRPF Jawans and police. So when I stopped the car, they just asked me what was my destination. When I told them West Bengal, they just let me go within 30 seconds. So I did not have to stop, which was, which saved a lot of time, because all the other YouTube videos that I had watched, all of them had to wait for almost 45 minutes to 1 hour. But thankfully I did not have to. I just left the place within 30 seconds. So yeah, if they stop you, just tell them that you're coming to West Bengal, so that they would not create any problems. And at least I didn't face any. uh, Apart from that, when I crossed Orissa border, so I had checked with a couple of my friends and also a few other YouTubers, what is the policy over there. So they, in Orissa checkpoint, they were giving a document slip which was valid for 72 hours, and so I had expected the same. But when I was crossing the Orissa checkpoint, they did not stop my car. I just left as if it was just, you slow down your car, it's a barricade, and you just move on. So I didn't have any concerns at all. So basically I did not have to apply for any exit pass, because in Kolkata you do not need, because I do have a lot of friends in police, and everyone stated that you do not need to apply for any entry or exit pass over here. So I did not apply for any, neither I was stopped. In Karnataka you do not need to apply for any exit pass. In Andhra Pradesh they might check, and you can just tell them that you're coming to West Bengal or Orissa, whichever state you're coming to. You just tell your destination, they will allow you to go. Orissa checkpoint, depending on if your destination is Orissa, you might have to apply for the car registration and follow the procedure as per their website. But if you're passing Orissa to come to West Bengal, they will not stop you at all. West Bengal, anyways, there was no checkpoint. I mean, all the checkpoints were there, but again, they did not stop any car, or my car as well. So yeah, so no passes are required. Okay, now secondly, talking about my halt. So most of the people who had traveled had taken 3 days. I know 2,000 kilometers in 2 days was a little bit too much, but I have done solo travel before, so I knew how to drive, and how to handle such situations. So 2,000 kilometers I wanted to do solo. This was an amazing trip, and the reason I didn't want to take 3 days, one is because of the safety reasons, because of COVID. I didn't want to stay in multiple hotels. That is one reason why I wanted to keep the trip for just 2 days. That's the reason my first day was about 1,090 kilometers, where I stopped in Vizag, and my next day was from Vizag to Calcutta, and I reached at around 10 o'clock or 10:15 in the night. So I stay in proper Calcutta, so I did not have to exit Calcutta again to reach some other district or town, which was a good thing for me. And yeah, so apart from that, when we talk about my stay, so since I was driving solo, and because I wanted to care about my safety as well, I always have to do, I stayed in Park Hotel. The reason being, when I was booking from makemytrip.com, I had multiple options. You can just choose sanitized hotels. You do have an option in Make My Trip, but the only thing is I didn't want to go to any hotel. The reason being, I had to enter the information that I'm traveling solo and I'm a solo traveler. So keeping safety in mind, I chose Park Hotel because I knew that there would be female staff as well. And I have had experiences in whenever I travel in such circumstances, I mostly stay in a hotel which is more secured. So I opted for Park Hotel. I got a very good deal, and on top of that, they apparently upgraded my the normal deluxe room or whatever that is to a luxury room, which was very good. Thanks to Park Hotel for that. And yeah, so the staff were very cordial, and I didn't have any opportunity or any concerns. So basically, I did not have any concerns in Park Hotel. I just went. They even checked when I'm about to reach the destination, and they wanted to check if I wanted to have food or something. So the staff were really cordial in Park Vizag. So if you're staying, just check if you can get a good deal. You can stay in that hotel because it's completely sanitized. It's very safe in terms of the staff and security wise. So yeah, that's where I stayed. Now talking about food, so I carried food throughout. I mean, for the entire journey, I didn't want to eat from outside, and also I thought that if I halted in multiple places to consume food, it would also increase my time. So that's the reason. For the first day, I mostly carried chapati and dry sabzi. So because I knew that I cannot take too much of food, which is perishable. So for the first day I had my food cooked. For the second day, I mostly carried bread and the Maggi. You just put hot water in it and you can consume. So, and apart from that, I carried Storm and Red Bull, but I just consumed once. Apart from that, I was carrying my own coffee. So whenever I wanted to stop, I just stopped and I had a cup of black coffee and I was good to go. So all my food was home prepared. No eating outside for the COVID reasons. And talking about halting, so mostly I stopped in petrol bunks because there were multiple petrol bunks where you have clean toilets. And also I was carrying those toilet seat papers and sanitizers, and those are basics you need to carry nowadays everywhere. So if any female is traveling, I would completely suggest them to carry the toilet seats, because the Western toilets, sometimes it's really dirty, and the toilet seats actually helps a lot. So yeah, that's about it. And all the petrol bunks were really helpful. I stopped, and whenever I wanted to take a halt or I wanted to go to the washroom, I just stopped in one of the petrol bunks, and it was pretty good, and they had everything available. So no concerns in that terms, and they were very cordial. Even when I was halting and I wanted to eat food, they even came and they just said, ma'am, you can park the car that side and have your food safely. So they kind of knew that people are traveling a lot nowadays, and they are very helpful. Talking about the toll tax, so I have a FASTag which is linked with my Paytm. So I filled, I had recharged the money in my FASTag, and throughout the journey I didn't have any problem. All my toll were paid through the FASTag, and it was auto deducted from my Paytm account, except for one, which was near the Hooghly Bridge once you reach Calcutta. So that was about $10 or $20. So that I had to pay in cash because they didn't have any toll tax, the FASTag facility. apart from that, I had no other challenges paying through my FASTag in any of the tolls. One thing, while you're traveling through a lot of villages, before you fill the fuel, please make sure to ask them if they accept credit card or a debit card, because some of them might not. So it's always better you ask them. And I would suggest, try to fill your fuel in Reliance, because or I mean, I have filled it in Indian Oil, Reliance, and everywhere whenever I wanted to fill. So just don't wait for your fuel to get almost over. I was normally filling it up when I was seeing 1 bar left in my fuel tank, I mean, the indicator. So I was just refilling my entire fuel. Yeah, so I didn't have any problem. And the reason I'm talking about Reliance is because this was suggested by one of my friends, that because the quality of the fuel is obviously better, because you don't get Shell on the highway. Reliance is one private company that you would get, but otherwise it's up to you. Just find a good petrol bunk, and you would get to know. Like, I know you guys are traveling and you would know. So just stop in a petrol bunk which looks, to be very honest, little, the staff looks little cordial. Yeah, apart from that, the fuel that I have spent is about 6K, which still has fuel left in my car. Like, I'm still using that fuel. So it would be about 5,500, but I would still say, because I have filled 6,000 fuel, so I'm taking about 6,000 ka fuel that I have filled. My car is a diesel car, so from Bangalore to Calcutta, it's about 6,000 in diesel that has costed me. And the toll was about 2,000. It's about 1,900 odd, so it's about 2,000. So just recharge maybe 2,500 or 3,000 in your FASTag account, and it will get auto debited whenever you are crossing the toll. It's always better. Try to keep on the lane which is on the toll, because there are a lot of times where the trucks will block your way, and you will end up going in the queue which has only cash option. So it's better always try to see from far that what are the lane, and stick to that particular lane. Okay, talking about roads, NH16 is the road you should follow throughout. Please do not divert from NH16. There are constructions going on in NH16, but even if Google says that take a left turn, because there will be multiple times when Google will tell you take a left turn, and you will see that the road is narrowing down. So please understand, it's taking you to a village, and do not get inside it, because I took the second turn which went to a village, because the first time I didn't want to follow Google, but there was a junction when I felt, okay, maybe this road is actually the right way, and I took, but there are a lot of humps, and it will slow down your car. You won't be able to drive more than 40 speed. So it's better, don't take any narrow roads. Just follow the NH16. If sometimes you see Google all of a sudden tells you to take a left turn or a right turn, just see if the truck is going straight. If the truck is going straight, please follow the truck. Automatically your Google will change, and after maybe a kilometer you will see it's a 6-lane road. It's just maybe because of few constructions on the NH16 they are diverting you to through a village for 60 to 70 kilometers, which makes no sense. And there will be side passages even if the NH16 is under construction. Okay, talking second thing about the roads, after you cross Vijayawada, until Vijayawada the roads are pretty good. Once you cross Vijayawada, that Rajmundri, that particular road, there are a lot of black holes. Please guys, if you see the signboard that black hole road ahead, please take it seriously. The roads are actually bad. There are a lot of big black holes where if your car tire falls, and there are high possibilities that it might dent your wheel. So one thing, please take all the signboards in the road very seriously, because they are actually correct. And after you cross Vizag, there will be a point again when it will tell you take a left turn from one of the signals. Please do not take it. Please keep on coming straight. And while you are taking the sideways, there will be a lot of signboard where it will say there is a side passage. Please slow down at that point of time, because there are multiple those triple humps over there, and some of them are really huge, so it can, your front tires can really go and hit it really hard if you're at a high speed. So whenever you see that there is a diversion ahead or there is a slow board, you can see on the road, please slow down your car. Otherwise, you know, there are high possibilities that you will go and see 3 triple humps, and it's not a good experience. Trust me, I had one experience like that. And apart from that, I would want to give a heads up, especially for people who will be entering in West Bengal during the night time, because I think about 70 to 60 kilometers I was about to reach West Bengal when you know, I had one experience where I paid a toll tax and the roads were pretty good. You know, but it was very dark, so that's the reason I couldn't take any videos as well. And it felt like it's going through some jungle. So because the roads were good, I was driving at 100, 110, 120 at that point of time, but there was a black patch all of a sudden, which looks like there was a hole there, but then, you know, they have covered it up. But when I moved from there, I think my left tire, the front left tire, it went in that hole, and it just hit so bad. Because all my window shields were, you know, up, it just made a sound like a bomb blast, and for a moment I felt that, you know, it has hit the bottom of my car or something has happened, but thankfully nothing happened. But please be careful when you are driving in the night time, because there is one big hole somewhere near Kolaghat, I think, which might be very bad for the wheels. Yeah, so apart from that, the journeys were great. Like Andhra Pradesh NH16 stretch 375 kilometers, amazing. Then again, when I was crossing Andhra to Orissa border, those roads through the hills, and when I crossed Orissa, you know, near the Chilka Lake, the roads were pretty amazing. NH16, if you stick to it, trust me guys, you are going to reach on time, and you can enjoy your drive as well. So just be comfortable whenever you're feeling you know, tired. Just take a halt, understand if your car needs refueling, you also need. Try to take a lot of liquids with you, because you might get dehydrated. Keep on sipping water, or you know, try to carry buttermilk, which is really helpful. And yeah, otherwise just refuel yourself whenever you're feeling tired. Just stop the car, don't exaggerate, and keep on driving thinking that, you know, I'll reach on I will try to reach in this particular time. No, just enjoy your drive. The moment you feel a little bit drowsy, or you're not feeling comfortable, maybe you're having a back pain or your leg pain, just stop for 5 minutes, give it a stretch and drive. Otherwise, I know all of you guys are pro drivers, so yeah, just enjoy your drive, and I'm sure you're going to love it. I loved it thoroughly. I have done solo drives, but my maximum has been about 790 kilometers till date, and 2000 kilometers was something I wanted to do, so I really enjoyed. I'm sure you guys will enjoy it too. Yeah, so I hope I have answered all the questions, but if there are any other questions which I did not touch, please you know, mention it in the comment section below. I will love to answer all your questions and queries and help you guys. And till then take care, and please keep watching. Bye bye.